Well, welcome to another edition of Bolton In. Well, it's the final edition for the spring season, and what a season it has been. Shane Anderson, as I say, good morning to you all the way from Copenhagen. How are you, buddy?
Really well, Matty. Good to be with you. Good to be with Adam. And it's been a long spring carnival, some ups and downs, but some terrific racing all the way through, mate.
Nah, it's been sensational. Adam McGrath all the way from Las Vegas. Sads, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, going well. Sad time. The only time I can claim that I talk with friends. So I'm going to have to try to figure something else out to do for the remainder of the season.
Mate, we've had a ball, we've had a blast. The team at Palmer Bet, it's always a whole lot of fun, and there's been plenty of winners along the journey, boys. You two should be patted on the back. It's been enormous for the Palmer Bet followers, ads, hasn't it?
Yeah, look, it's been good. As I said, yourself and Shane really carried the bat early on, and it was just some very big hit and misses. But I feel like, as per usual, we found some nice ones, some good prices as well. And as we always say, I remember in the first episode going into it, we said there'd be some good stories, and hasn't that just come true? We've seen some amazing wins, some jockeys, rise to the top that we didn't think they would, some training stories. So always a great spectacle, and I feel like we got some wins that we really needed with the likes of Robbie Dolan, etc.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with that. The stories have been the whole spring for mine. The racing game just continues to put them up, doesn't it, Shane?
Certainly been that way for a long, long time, Matty, and it's great to see that is continuing on. The stories of the spring, as Adam just mentioned, Robbie Dolan in the Melbourne Cup, Sheila Laxon and John Simons, fantastic effort there, of course, with the upset result. I mean, Via Sistina in the Cox Plate, one of the great Cox Plate performances we've ever seen, a truly world-class performance. Some ups and downs along the way. Craig Williams, I think, pretty much in good form all the way through the spring. Kieran Maher with great form throughout the spring. The list goes on. It was a really, really strong, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks of racing and a lot of highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about rough results, what about the victory at Camochi in the Sir Rupert Clark on the weekend? Kind of a horse that we've always kind of spoken about, been knocking on the door, never probably gave enough to tip, but that was one for the ages on the weekend that blew a lot of us out of the quaddy, boys.
Yeah, what's the case, Matty? Of course, and I think Adam from memory were on another wheel, and then Komochi over the top. Craig Williams, what an amazing record he's got in the Sarupa Clark, 7 wins in the race. He is a phenomenal jockey, particularly in around Caulfield in those handicap races. It was a really strong ride to get Komochi home over the top of them all. Another wheel ran, I thought, really well. And again, he looks destined to win a Group 1 at some stage. And Gary Portelli back as a Group 1 winning trainer. It's been a long time between drinks for Gary, but, fantastic trainer. He's had a lot of success over many years. And Komachi trained to the minute, was able to get the prize. And looks like it's going to progress on to probably more Group 1 success.
Ads, anything you want to add there, mate?
No, just a really good performance, as Shane said, and I think we all agree. Another wheel will get another one. I think Stapati was really good again. I'll be interested to see what you boys think about Stapati going out this weekend. And Southport Tycoon, another horse that, at the start of the spring, we were questioning what distance this horse was going to get and what races they were going to go to. And wherever it has gone, it's performed really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that horse can do with another year of maturity under its belt as well. So I thought it was a great addition to the Sir Rupert Clark in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about another roughie, another profit salutes in the 1,000 guineas. I actually liked the way that it's all worked out with the racing scheduling this year for mine. Kieran Maher, Group 1 racing, you just can't leave him out, Shane, can you?
No, he's a phenomenal trainer. Great success now, 50 Group 1 winners against his name. And the vast majority of them have come in the last 3-4 years. A remarkable trainer. I it's one of those things where I go back and look at the form lines around another profit and just look to be ticking over really well, but was able to go to a whole new level in that Group 1 contest. And at the mile, super strong. I think she could be one to keep an eye on through the autumn carnival. Whichever direction they go, most likely it'll be up to Sydney for some of their features up there. But based on that performance last weekend, I think we have to consider another profit to be, one of the benchmark fillies of the generation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do, particularly if they try and stretch her out a little bit further in trip.
What about the beaten brigade, ads? Any excuses, do you think?
No, not really. I thought they all had their chances, just beaten by a better horse. I think what Shane said when you're looking at Kieran Maher and his team at the moment, he just seems to find grand final day a little bit better than everybody else. He just seems to know that this is what we're set him for, and they're always humming as they go into the races. So good to see Ethan Brown with another good opportunity and making the most of it there for Kieran Maher as well. But of the Beaten McGray, I thought they all had their chances. There wasn't too much behind that you'd be looking and say if they had have had another way, they would have been winning the race.
Hey, Ads, what about the victory of Briasa in the Hunter? It was emphatic. It was a really good win and certainly a horse to watch moving forward.
Yeah, one of those races when you see the result, you kick yourself a little bit, don't you? I looked at it obviously going into the races, we all would have, and you saw it as a favourite, and I was pretty happy to take it on that occasion. But the Hawks team with Tyler Schiller's riding really well, it's got to be noted, especially with J-Mac doing a little bit of travel at the moment. He's really stepped up. I was looking in the last 30 days, he's actually got the most wins in New South Wales, so really making the most of his opportunities, but very progressive horse, a really nice win as well, and beat some pretty nice bunch there. Some disappointing performances. I know a few of our selections struggled on that occasion, maybe the end of preps for them. They did have some grand finals in previous runs, but take nothing away from the winner.
Shane O, your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I like Browser a lot. I kind of wasn't sure where to have Browser place going into last week. It's one of those horses that I could see winning, but at the same time wouldn't surprise me if it was running a really strong third, fourth, fifth type scenario and then expecting more in the next preparation. But that was a tremendous performance, sitting wide in the run, taking control at the top of the straight and really asserting authority over the concluding stages. So I think when we see Briasa back in the Autumn Carnival, there could be another really big race going Briasa's way. And it was good to see Team Hawks, a long-time fan of John Wayne and Michael Hawks and their operation. And it was tremendous to see them get another big race success.
No, absolutely it is. And yeah, they've been great for the racing game for such a long period of time, the Hawks team, that is for sure. Hey, let's turn our attention to the final couple of races we're going to look at. It's the Railway Stakes at Ascot. Your home ground, Ad McGrath, at the Palmerbet Market. Over the 1,600 metres, Light Infantryman's a favourite at $3.90. Belclair for Beyond Baker at $5. Zip Away at $8. Super Smirk at $11. Sox Nation $15. Democracy Manifest at $16. Port Lockroy $17. Bustler $18. Ads, I'm going to come to you. Home ground advantage for you, buddy. What are your thoughts on the Railway Stakes?
Yeah, look, it's a really interesting race, and it's one that previously, especially when working in Perth or even sort of 5 years ago, I'd always stick with the locals. You know, the interstaters would come across, they'd have the better record, but they'd always get caught out on the home ground. However, as we're starting to see with trainers like Bjorn Baker, Kieran Maher, Annabelle Neesham, it doesn't matter where they go. They're so used to adapting their programs that now I think they clearly understand how to win. I was listening to J-Mac during the week. This is the one that he really wants. He asked permission from the Hong Kong Jockey Club to let him go. He hasn't had the success in Perth. He's had some good rides here, but unable to get that Group 1, and he thinks he's got a really good chance with Light Infantryman. And I agree as well. Look, it was a horse that I thought would be pretty hard to beat coming into the race, and then the barrier draws have just fallen perfectly for it when you look at where its rivals are going to be and where it should be. Thought the run in the Manifold was really good. Beat some nice times. Had been building through this preparation well. And I think now fifth run, barrier 2, 55.5 kilos with the best jockey in the world at the moment. I think this horse is going to be very hard to hold out. So I am going with Light Infantryman on top. The one that I think is adding a little bit of value, and it's a stablemate, is Kieran Maher and Declan Bates. I think Sock Nations is going to run a really big race. Third run back this preparation. The Jimmy Star form is really good from the first up run in the Weekend Hustler. Was pretty unlucky on that occasion. Then last time, third in the Group 1 Empire Rose. That's behind a Tissue. Mile now, third up, as I said, drops from the 58 and 57 this run to 53.5 kilos. Does have that wide barrier draw to contend with, but they're going to be fanning out wide around that Ascot corner and running on strongly. So I think it's over the odds. So I'll go with the Kieran Maher pair. Just quickly before we go to Shane, for those looking for the locals, I think Super Smink is a horse you should keep an eye on, number 18. She's a 4-year-old mare. She was really good winning the Asian Bow last time. She's just ticking the right boxes going into the race. She's probably the best of the locals, in my opinion. And number 16, Zip Away, is the obvious one, a horse that went across to Flemington for the Australian Guineas, was third in the Autumn Stakes in the Group 2 at Caulfield last time as well. They've got a huge opinion of this horse. Stephen Parnham will take the ride, and they drop to the 53 kilos as well. So they'd be the two locals that I'd really be keeping an eye on.
Shona, your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I'm with Adam. I think Light Infantryman is the one to beat and can give J-Mac his first Group 1 success in Western Australia. Everything about the campaign has been suggesting that this was the target race. First up in the Testarossa was good. Went to the Toorak. Again, didn't have the best of luck in that sort of weirdly run race, but ran well enough. Then progressed to the Crystal Mile at the Valley when didn't have the best of luck, got a fair bit of interference at crucial stages, wasn't beaten too far, and then was absolutely outstanding when winning the Chester Manifold last start. Wide, coming down the centre of the track, but really powering away. Drawn beautifully, barrier number 2 to get every conceivable hope in the run. And I think Light Infantryman is clearly the one to beat. So I'm pretty confident can win, give Kira Maher and James McDonald further Group 1 success. My value bet in the race is a local Magnificent Andy off the inside barrier. Again, another horse that you just look through the program, every start looks like it's been targeted towards the Railway Stakes for, the first 2 runs in the Farnley and the Blackheart Bart, just getting way too far out of its ground on it both occasions. Went to the Arrhythmic, I thought ran really well, chasing hard all the way down the straight. And then last time out in the Lustia Classic, looked the winner, was only swamped late in the race. From the inside barrier, should get a very, very soft run. And at a big price, I think is a really solid each-way option in the race. But very keen, Light Infantryman is my best. My value bet, Magnificent Andy.
Love it. Well, I'm sticking fat with the Kieran Maher juggernaut because it is rolling along beautifully well. And I'm with you, Light Infantryman. But, boys, this hasn't ended well when we're all on the same horse. We just don't seem to get across the line. We just seem to run seconds and thirds. But, I'm with Light Infantryman. That was an impressive win over that Flemington Carnival for mine. Won comfortably in the end. And happy to play around Light Infantryman with J-Mac from Barrier 2 because I reckon a lot of the other fancies have got awkward gaits. As you touched on, Ads. And I'm sticking for the value. It's a first emergency. Casino 17, another one from the Mar Yard. This horse has got some second up stats as well. Did enough first up, and it's just got that Kieran Maher polish on it. So happy to play around both those horses in the Railway Stakes. Let's move along now to the Gong and the Palmerbet Market. Which is at Kembla Grange, a race number 8, I should say, over the 1,600 metres on Saturday. Territory Express is a favourite at $4.60. Gringotts at $5. Stapati on the back up at $7. Lekvardi at $8. Tavi Time at $9. Waterford $10. King of the Castle $10 at NCAP at $13. Shane, I'm going to come back to you for the Gong. There's a couple of little talking points here. Gringotts got a tricky little gate to deal with.
Yeah, very, very much the case. I mean, Gringotts, if drawn a softer barrier, would probably be my top selection in the race. But just mapping it, I'm just not quite sure with confidence where I think Gringotts could get. So I'm siding to a horse that has drawn well and is in very strong form, and that is Stapati as my best. And I think at the price represents a great each-way option in the race. All the runs through this campaign have been fairly solid from the run at the Valley in the, I should go back to the Scalacci first up, off a break, then to the Valley when in the McEwen Stakes, both over, short trips, running really well. Went to the Linlithgow at Flemington over 1,400 metres and I thought was terrific behind Another Will and Jimmy Star. And then last week in the Group 1, again, very, very strong when third to Komochi and Another Will. I know it's on the week back up. I don't mind that too much. I think 1,600 metres is still within his range, particularly now he's a mature 4-year-old, only had one previous go at the trip when finishing third in a feature 3-year-old race. So I think from barrier number 4, Stapati gets every conceivable hope in the run. And just from an each-way perspective, looks a really, really strong option, Matty. So I'm happy to side with Stapati. My value bet in a race is a horse that I've tipped a couple of times, has let me down so far. But again, I feel has a decent race in his arsenal, and that is Berkshire Shadow for Kira Maher, Chad Schofield. Also drawn quite well in barrier number 5. Last time out at Hawkesbury in the Ladies' Day, which was over 1,500 metres at listed level. I thought ran really well, had every chance in the run, but really stuck to the task over the concluding stages to be beaten just on a length on the line to Rustic Steel. The start prior in the big dance, just probably slightly out of its depth. But if you go back 3 starts ago, didn't have the best of luck in an Epsom. And, if it had a clearer passages, could have finished a lot closer than what he did. So I think at the price, Berkshire Shadow is also a really strong each-way option in the race. So they're the two I'm keen on. Stapati, my best. Berkshire Shadow, my value. Interesting race. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stapati on that backup was good again last week. Ads, which way are you going, buddy?
Yeah, look, I was definitely going to be going with Gringotts prior to the draw and then with the weight as well. So I'm also with Stapati. Obviously, threw it out last week, and I don't really see any reason to be jumping off. Like Shane said, I think the key is the each way price. If you can get a nice $3 for a place, I think this horse has done enough to suggest it's going to be right there. Like the draw, 56 kilos, ticks all the boxes for mine. And as Shane said, I think the mile will be no issue. I can see them getting a really nice run from this draw, which I think is going to be the key. But the form around Barrakill, another will, Komochi, it all just reads really well for a strong showing here. So Stapati on top for mine. I think it's a nice each way play. The horse that I think can run a really good race is number 15, Superazzi. Blake Spriggs takes a ride, does have to overcome that wide barrier draw, but with the 54 kilos, this is a horse that's been getting back and rattling home. Beaten 2.2 by Jimmy Star, beaten 3.1 by Plenty of Ammo, and then beaten 1.71 behind Gringotts. And you're getting a massive price about him. And as I said, he will get back again from that draw. But I think that mile, now third run at the mile this preparation, I think he can run a really nice race. A horse that's won the 7 from 36 and just proven in this type of a grade. So I think Superazzi can go well, but Step Party looks a nice bet each way for mine.
I'm sticking fat with Gringotts and I'm sticking fat with Kieran Maher on this little final episode of Bolton In, that's for sure. But Gringotts 3 from 3 at the distance. I know he got the tricky gate, but geez, he was a good win. Stiff to start before for mine as well. I don't know. Tommy Berry just put the horse hopefully in a nice spot, and he is going to look the winner at some stage for mine. If he can get 2 off or 2 out, 2 back and 1 off the fence, I think that'll be a nice result, and he's going to be hard to beat. And the other horse down the bottom, Glory Days. Would you believe it? Another one from the Kieran Maher stable. This horse has got some second up stats as well. Jay Ford takes a ride. 51s into 31s. So a little bit of a push there. Got to gain a run, of course, but I'm happy to play around that. And fingers crossed Kieran Maher can have another sensational Saturday. Righto, lads. Where are we going to for your best bets around the country, mate?
Yeah, we'll stay in Perth and race 2, number 4, Royal Toronado. It's a horse that we've thrown out before. This horse was very impressive, winning over the 1,800 metres last time. I've been waiting for it to get out to 2,000 metres plus. It gets to 2,100, has a tricky draw, but it's been jumping from wide draws all campaign. William Pite takes a ride for Grant Alana Williams. It'll get back and it'll be flashing home late. So I think Royal Toronado can run a good race. And then one that I'm really keen on is race 4, number 5, which is Russian to the Bar. Stepped out in the Group 3 RJ Peters last start over the 1,500 metres. Loomed like it was going to win around the corner and just peaked late. Was beaten a length in the end by Mojo Rhythm, who went back-to-back in that race. Drops back to a 72.14, gets Chris Parnham in the saddle and jumps from barrier 4. Should just be able to cruise right behind the speed and be very hard to beat. So race 2, number 4, Royal Toronado, and race 4, number 5, Russian to the Bar.
Well, I like it when he's got that Perth form. Shane, what about you, buddy?
Matty, I'm going to Kembla Grange and Cranbourne. We'll start with Kembla Grange, race 9 on the card, which I think is called the Warra. One of these new sort of pop-up races that have come up with names that don't really align to racing. But anyway, Hedged is the one I'm the most keen on. Number 3, first up for Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr., Chad Schofield in the saddle. I love the way Hedge has been trialling, particularly the trial at Randwick on the 11th of November. Looks set for a terrific first up run, good at the 1,000-metre trip. And I think, if we're getting sort of $4 to the $4.50 mark in early markets, it's a price I'm really ready to dive into. Hedge. So that's Kembla Grange race 9, number 3, and the other one was I think it's the Meteorite at Cranbourne, the big sprint race on their card. Race 8. I'm sticking with the favourite Barrakill, who looks to be absolutely flying for the Corson's Yard. Terrific win at Moonee Valley on Cox Plate weekend, and then of course ran in the Group 1 race at Flemington last start and wasn't beaten too far. Just love the progression this sprinter has made throughout the spring, and looks set to win a big prize race. That's a Barrakill. I'm pretty confident, despite the white draw, should be too classy for them at Cranbourne.
Yeah, had a nice campaign, that horse, Barraquill. I'm sticking up at Kembla Grange, boys. Race 9, number 7, Iona Merck. Know a couple of the owners. Big spruik on the horse, Bjorn Baker trains. Likes getting the winner. And I reckon Iona Merck might be hard to beat, about $5.50. And a bit of value, race 6, number 14, Alapicanto, one from the Hawks team. This horse was really impressive in a couple of victories. Won comfortably, and won by margins. And I thought, showed enough first up to maybe fire at about $9 or $10. A little bit of value and a bit of an each way play. Download the Palmer Bet app. Get involved yourself. It's an easy app to navigate around. And as we always say, gamble responsibly and think about what you're really gambling with. Shane, Adam, can I just say, magnificent work once again. We'll have a little break, a little hiatus, but then we'll come back and look forward to, a really big autumn carnival. You boys have been enormous this spring.
Matty, Adam, love working with you both, and it's been a lot of fun as always. Hopefully, we've led our audience into some winners throughout the period of time. But it's been a fantastic spring carnival. Really enjoyed it, and it's been a blast.
It's always great to catch up with you, mate. And Ads, same goes to you, big fella.
Yeah, great to work with you guys as per usual. Big thanks to Palmer Bet as well for making it happen. So hopefully we have found you a couple of winners, and look forward to a little break and coming back to find some more.
Absolutely. I did say, I think we need to keep this going weekly. But big shout out to the boys at Palmer Bet too. Kyle, Danny and the team. They do a magnificent job behind the scenes, putting it all together. Absolutely sensational. We have a whole lot of fun. And as I said, occasionally we tip a winner as well, which is even better. Hey, great to catch up with you, legends. Enjoy the weekend of racing. I can't wait to catch up with you soon.
See you, boys. Thank you.
See you guys.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.